Hi Libra, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of November. We've been dealing with such a challenging year of working within limitations in this uncharted year of Capricorn reconstruction. And for you, all of the planets in Capricorn, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto have been transiting in your house of home and family and your emotional foundation. And in that area, you've experienced a lot of major endings and beginnings and reconstructing of what you can anchor and how you can get your needs met. And Mercury also retrograded initially in Scorpio on October 13th at 11 degrees and 40 minutes of Scorpio. And then it re-entered your sign on October 27th. And it does station direct on November 3rd, but it's been retrograde in your sign, and that's a time of re-examining what's effective for you physically, how you partner with others, because it's retrograding in your first house, but it's opposing your house of relationships. And Mars is also retrograde right now. It retrograded on September 9th at 28 degrees of the cardinal fire sign of Aries, which is your opposite sign. And it's been retrograding in your house of relationships since then. So that's really a review period of how you partner with others, what relationships are working, which ones maybe people from the past have resurfaced. Maybe there have been issues that have surfaced around anger or things that you need to reconcile. So that's been a big theme for you this fall. And Mars only retrogrades once every 2 years, and it hasn't retrograded in Aries or in this sector of your chart since 1988. So it doesn't happen very frequently. So you really want to get clear on how you partner with yourself and with others, and how to deal with anger issues or things that may surface, whether it's the other party or you or things that are coming up. And you're also, reassessing how you're going to be more productive and also get your needs met with all the Capricorn at the bottom of your chart, anchoring new things in your life that work and realizing what doesn't, and Mercury retrograding in your sign. So Mercury stations direct on November 3rd at 25 degrees and 54 minutes of your sign. It squares Saturn on November 6th. Again, first time on November 1st while it's still retrograde. Now it meets up again and squares in the sky on the 6th, giving us a reality check, realizing how you can get your needs met and what's not working. And on the 9th of November, Venus in your sign opposes Mars in your house of relationships. And that can be sexy energy, but it can also be friction. There can be a little bit of fiery tone to that. And on later on the 9th and early into the 10th of November, depending on what time zone you're in, the sun in Scorpio, which has been transiting in your house of income and money and what you value since October 22nd, makes a beautiful trine to Neptune in Pisces. And that's a really creative energy. It's very manifesting, it's very romantic, and it can be good for financial opportunities for you. Neptune's transiting in your 8th house of joint resources and wounds and healing and intimacy. So excellent for financial, but also good for emotional manifesting as well. On the 10th of November, Mercury re-enters Scorpio, where it will be until December 1st. And that's in your house of money and income as well. So that's a big focus around business projects. On the 12th of November, we have a really magical aspect. Jupiter, which is the planet of abundance and expansion, meets up with Pluto, the planet of death and transformation, in your house of home and security. And the two have met up 2 other times this year, on June 30th and April 4th, both at 24 degrees of Capricorn. This time they're meeting up exactly at 22 degrees of Capricorn, which is at the world axis. And that means it impacts every one of us. And it also triggers the Saturn-Pluto conjunction from January 12th that changed the world and changed all of us. And so this is a really good aspect for partnering with others. It's good for getting healing energy, for doing meditation and manifesting. And again, it's falling in your house of needs and family and security. So I would definitely target that date for doing meditating and manifesting work. If you can manifest with others, that's an excellent time to do so, and just a really creative energy. On the 13th of November, Mars stations direct in your house of partnerships at 15 degrees and 14 minutes of Aries. And that's good news, you know. So it will be in Aries until January 6th. So it's going to be transiting in your house of relationships until then. And it officially clears its shadow on January 4th, meaning the degree at which it's stationed retrograde. But this is good energy for you for, you know, I think for fighting for yourself in a Libran way, a very diplomatic way, but nonetheless, you know, figuring out how you can partner in a way that's also empowering to you. On the 14th of November, the sun in Scorpio forms a beautiful aspect to both Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn. And this is good for financial pursuits for you and good for things around real estate. And on the 15th of November, we have a new moon in Scorpio that's at 23 degrees of Scorpio. It falls in your house of money and income. That's a tricky new moon because that day Venus, which rules your chart and your sign, squares Pluto in the sky, and that could be triangles, that could be endings, that could be challenges with relationships and finances. And Pluto rules the sign of Scorpio and Venus rules your sign. So that's not the easiest of energies, but it is a new moon. So set intentions and plant seeds, but maybe not, it's not a date night or a partnering day particularly, you know. And then on the 17th of November, Mercury in Scorpio in your house of income forms an opposition to Uranus in your house of joint assets. So the unexpected news about money could be a little bit, you know, challenging. And on the 19th of November, Venus in your sign squares Saturn in Capricorn in your house of needs and security. And so that could be, that's, you know, feeling like the glass is a little half empty. So just kind of, you know, not partnering that day particularly either. But on the 20th of November, Mercury clears its shadow, meaning that the degree at which it initially stationed retrograde. So that is good for all of us for moving ahead. On the 21st of November, the sun enters Sagittarius, which is your house of communication, local community, thoughts and ideas, and it'll be touring there until December 21st. So that's good for networking and learning and communicating. And Venus exits your sign that day and enters the sign of Scorpio, which is a very sexy placement but a little challenging, and it'll be touring also in your house of income and money, and it'll be there until December 15th. So it is good for financial endeavors for you. On November 27th, Venus in Scorpio forms an opposition to Uranus and Taurus, and that could be a little challenging with financial projects. It can be innovative but a bit disruptive. On the 28th of November, Neptune stations direct at 18 degrees of Pisces. And that's in your house of work and daily routine. And we feel that energy 5 days before and 5 days after. And Neptune can be very foggy. It rules the dream. It rules the imagination. So it can be a bit confusing. And it's 2 days before we have a lunar eclipse on November 30th at 8 degrees and 38 minutes of Gemini. And for you, that's falling in your house of hopes and manifesting and higher learning. And it's falling within a degree of the world axis, because anything at 7 degrees of the mutable signs is at the world axis. The mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So It brings fruition to things. Definitely full moons. I mean, lunar eclipses are like a full moon on steroids, and Neptune squares the nodes of fate in that full moon eclipse. But it's also a release and a culmination, and maybe it's something you've been working on with teaching or learning or writing, and that's a positive thing. So that will help to bring closure on certain things. So it's a big month still. We do have 2 planets going direct. That's helpful. And we're almost done with this year of reconstruction and getting towards the year of Aquarius, so age of Aquarius. So I wish you a lot of luck, and thank you very much, Libra. Take care. Bye-bye.